What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to a brand new video. This is Web Dev Journey, and today we're going to be focusing on the setup of Express and setting up our default routes for our simple website. So our routes are going to be the home page, our speakers page that is going to list all the speakers, and then our detailed speakers page, which is going to be a page for a detailed speaker or for a specific speaker. And then our feedback page, and also posting a feedback on that page. So there's going to be in total of 5 routes. And yeah, let's get right into it. So we're going to be using npm-i-save. We're going to be using Express and EJS for our template engine. Now you can use any template engine that you want to, but I'm just going to use EJS since I coded the HTML in HTML, like with the actual brackets and not in pug form, and I don't want to convert that to pug, even though there is a converter online, but I just don't want to do it. So anyways, we're also going to install i-d nodemon inside. Hold on, okay, now that's done. Inside of package.json, let's do this right here. So I already created a start script. This is pretty much basic. So our start script is going to be node server.js, and I'm also going to create a dev script, which is going to be nodemon, and we are going to add an ignore flag, feedback.json. And don't worry about this file right now. We don't have it, but we are going to add it later on. I just don't want to come back to package.json to do this. So don't worry about what this is doing. All it is that if we ever update the feedback.json, we're not going to restart our server. It's just going to ignore it completely. And we're going to start up our server.js, not JSON. All right, cool. Now that we have our package JSON all completed, our dependencies are installed, yes, and our scripts, okay. Now let's go into how we're going to structure the folder structure, right? So we're going to need a folder for our routes, and we're also going to need a folder for our views. And inside views, we're going to add another folder for pages. All right. So this is our folder structure for right now. All we have is a server.js, our routes folder, and our views folder. Now this static is going to hold all of our CSS, images, and JavaScript for client side. So, and these are just, placeholders, HTML placeholders for all of our pages, for our home pages, for our speakers pages, for our feedback page, and for our specific speaker page. They're just HTMLs already coded it up, so don't worry about these are going to be included in the GitHub repo. So yeah, anyways, don't worry about the static. Let's just go into server and start, creating our Express server. So const Express is going to equal require Express. And we're also going to be adding const path. It's going to equal require path. This is a built-in module with Node.js, so you don't have to worry about adding that. And we're also going to do const app is going to equal, we're going to be invoking Express, and then const port, giving this a port of 3000. Get rid of this. All right, now we're going to just to see if we're actually getting our stuff, if this is actually working, we're going to create a simple route, which is going to be the home page, res, and we're going to do res.send. Since we do not have a file to actually send, I'm just send out a hey. That's it. Now we're going to do app.listen on our port with the callback, logging out. I'm gonna use template strings. Listening on port. And that is it. Let's give this a go. So I'm gonna do npm run dev, and we're listening on port 3000. Let's open that up. I already have it up. Let's go to, and there we go. We get our hey, awesome. Now, obviously, since we're using EJS template, this is the other tab. I'm gonna have this in the description down below. This is just a documentation for EJS, how to use it and all that stuff. So this will be in the docs or in the description below, and this is just gives you how to actually use EJS, right? So that's what that is. All right, going back into our code, going inside routes, we're going to be creating a file for index.js. We're also going to be doing that for speakers.js and feedback.js. Feedback.js. These are our routes. Now let's actually map them to our actual server. So in here, what I'm gonna do is actually in here we're gonna do it a bit different. All right. So a lot of people are used to saying, hey, let's get a index route. We're gonna set that equal to require route and then slash index, right? And then down here, what you would use is app.use, and what you would do is say every time someone goes to the home page, we want to map that to the index route, right? This is typically how you would do it, or typically how a lot of people actually do it. And not even this, they would actually pass in the app as well. But anyways, we're gonna be doing it a bit different. What I'm going to be doing is setting route. Wait a minute. Yeah, I'm gonna be setting up routes like this. I'm gonna require the whole routes folder just like that. So this route is going to have all of the routes inside of this. And what we're going to be doing is using routes. And we're actually going to be invoking that because we're going to actually be setting that up as a function. Like I said, it's a bit different. And don't worry, I will explain why I'm doing it this way once we get into that route. But I did forget to use middleware for this, for setting up our static and our template. So besides all this, app.set, we need to tell Express, hey, we want to set our view engine. We want to set this to use EJS, and then also we want to app.set. Basically, every time we render out a every time we render out a view, we want that to look in the path, and we do need to give it the absolute path to that folder, their name, and then views. So every time we do app.get, and right here we're gonna app res.render, you're going to see that it tells us to put in a view or a template, right? And we're basically saying that, and this is a string. So if we didn't have this right here, every time we did that, we would have to do a path.join and give it the absolute path to that actual template we want to render. But now that we have this, we could literally just type in here. We don't have nothing in views, but we could type in here, hey, we want to render out the pages / index.js or index.ejs, right? But nope, we don't have to do that no more. And then last but not least, we're going to be using a middleware app.use, and this is express.static, and we're basically telling it right here. Let me actually grab this because it's exactly the same thing. So we're basically saying right here that, hey, static, for everything in our application for images, CSS, and JavaScript, client-side JavaScript, we're going to be using our static folder, which is right here, that contains all of our CSS, images, and JS. So now we don't have to reference our absolute path inside of the HTML right here, the HTML over here. Let me see. Notice that, let me see, where's the image at? Right here. Notice that we have a / images, speakers, WDJ, whatever. This is inside of images, correct? So what would happen if we didn't have this? Basically right here, we will literally need to tell it, hey, HTTPS / or www.localhost.com, whatever, the absolute path to this. Because it wouldn't know what this / means, or like what's before that. It would not know that. But now that we have this, we could literally just say, okay, it's going to be / images, and the Express is going to say, okay, we're going to look in the static for images, and then from there on out. That's basically what we're doing here. All right. Anyways, enough about that. This should not, any of this, none of this, I mean, should be new to you guys. None of it whatsoever. But the thing that should be new or somewhat new is this. Just doing this right here. Okay. But like I said, I will talk about it right now. So in index.js for our routes, we're going to say const express. It's going to equal require express. And then const router, because we want to use router. It's going to equal express dot router. Why, dude? I'm trying to stop using semicolons. So sorry. I'm trying to keep it nice and consistent. All right, in here. Now, what you guys are used to is saying router dot get and / rec res, and then res.send home, right? And then what you would do is module.export is going to equal to router. Now this would work, not how we set it up, obviously, but this is how you're used to it, correct? You just do our router and that and export the router. But in this case, I'm not going to be doing it like this. I'm actually going to be doing it a different way. The way I'm going to do it is I'm going to actually export an actual function and put in our router right here. And what we're going to redo is return router. Okay. Now, the reason why I did it like this, how we use this and all that, is because we're going to be passing in functions. And I found this, for me, in a ways, to be better off. I mean, I just like how it works, the whole flow of it. I love how that works. And you'll understand once we actually start using functions and actually start passing in functions as arguments instead of requiring them up here, why I think this is better. It's kind of hard for me to explain, but for me, in a ways, I think this is much better than actually just mapping the routes in our server.js. And plus, it cleans it up a little bit in our server.js. Anyways, now that we have this, we're actually going to start using the routes, our index, as our mapper. So over here, we're going to get a const for speaker route. We're going to set that equal to require the speaker.js. And we're also going to be doing that for, I'm actually going to say speakers. And we're going to be doing speakers. We're going to be doing that for the feedback as well. Feedback. Okay. Now down here, this is going to be similar to what we would have done in at the server.js. Router.use. Every time they go to the speakers route, or the URL speakers, we're going to throw at them the speakers route. And this is also going to be module.export. We're returning a function. Oops, let me actually do this. And right here as well, the feedback routes. Now let's set up our speakers route right here. Okay, let's set up our feedback. So we don't need this no more right here, and we also don't need these. Our router I get now, this // is actually mapped to the, let me see. This / is mapped to the / feedback, since we mapped it to the feedback route, which is this. And instead of saying home, let's just say feedback page. And we also need one more, and it's going to be a post, since this time since we could actually post comments, and we're going to say res feedback post sent. Just for right now, anyways. Now let's do the exact same thing for speaker. I'm going to just say speakers list. And then we want a specific speaker as well. So every time we do like /speakers and then /WDJ, we'll get the WDJ profile speaker, right? The profile of WDJ. So in order to do that, we need to add a wildcard parameter. And to do that, we just add a colon and just say speaker. And right here, I'm going to say with tax backticks, this is the page for, this is the details page for, and then I'm gonna just add in the speaker that it's for, which is for, and the way we get that is from rec.params.speaker, whatever you named it on top. Okay. Control save this. And we're still getting error. I don't know why. Let me see. It's supposed to be exports. Control save. Is this? Okay. Nope. Nope. Exports and exports. All right. Now we have it. Exports, not export. All right. Now if we actually go check in our home page, let me see. We got a home. Let's go to /speaker. Speakers list, and then if you do /WDJ, we get, well, wait, what's happening here? We cannot get speakers WDJ. Why not? Let's check that out. Let's go to speakers. Oh, that's because it's a post. It's supposed to be a get request, not a post request. Now we refresh this. Yep, this is the details page for WDJ. We add another one in here, like dog. This is the details page for dog. All right, now we do the feedback page. We get feedback page. Awesome. So we have all of our routes working just as we wanted. And yeah, that's basically it for this video, guys. We just wanted to set up our Express server and our routes, and in the next video we are going to be doing business logic to these routes, and then messing around with EJS, the actual templates for EJS, since we did set it up right here for EJS. Like I said, you could use whatever template engine you want. Pug, you put Pug in, you would have to install Pug, but yeah, you can use Pug if you want to. It doesn't really matter what template engine you use. Handlebars, mustache, whatever. But thanks, guys, for watching this video. I really do appreciate you watching this video. It means a lot to me. And stick around for the next video. It's going to get more interesting. Trust me, guys. This is just a setup. This is just the setup. That is it. All right, it is going to get so much more interesting because we're going to be doing a lot more authentication sessions. You're going to learn a lot from this building, from this simple website. You're going to learn a lot how to build an actual website. All right, guys, thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.